Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 44 Stack. I am Kelsey Coop Charles. Along with me, I got Antonio Brother Long and West Coast Dave. Fellas, how's it going?
Chilling. Another day.
Man,
Another
we
day in
uh we
paradise.
dealing with the effects of we tropical folks. We ain't used to this here, man. It been cold for 2 weeks here, and I had some snow yesterday, bruh.
Heard it. Yeah. Everybody all right though?
Oh, everybody good.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just the point of you know we don't like this here, man. You know,
Oh
once it
yeah.
get past 40, we having them fit.
Yeah, I
oh
saw
yeah.
the how what got the most? Where most of it go at?
The low country, the craziest place in the world.
Oh,
They got 5 to 6 inches down there. We up here got a little dust. It was gone this morning by
yeah,
10 o'clock. Um,
yeah. Look
and
at the
then
dust. Yeah,
the crazy part is it done been I think 4 or 5 straight days of 29 degrees, bro. We can't do this.
yeah, definitely.
You know,
I
it,
was at the
it, it was
I was
literally
at
at
the
two
Cameron
o'clock today. It
backyard
was
in the front
29.
yard full of snow. Yard full of snow.
Yeah,
Prime backyard. Yeah.
bro. I mean, I've been to the beach when it had snowed. That is the craziest looking thing you ever will see in your life.
Daddy, I gotta see that. That's one thing I had to see is
Bruh, I'm telling you, it is the craziest thing to see waves coming in on the beach. And, I
With
mean,
snow.
snowstorm.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I need to get back to soccer. I hadn't been to Myrtle Beach in some years now.
Oh, Bo,
It's
you
time for
ain't
me to
want
get
to go
back
down.
down that way.
No,
Oh,
absolutely
yeah,
not.
I know that's a commercial play. I'm the commercial. It's a commercial place, but I know. It's
Absolutely not, sir. Look
the
at
good
you
with the bad,
good. You good in Conway. You good in North Myrtle. Don't go to Myrtle.
but not murder.
No, Bo.
Yeah,
Myrtle. Myrtle
far as I go
is
with outlets anyway.
is the Walking Dead,
Yeah.
Oh, is that bad? It changed that much?
bruh. The Walking Dead.
They they're
Wow.
gonna have to do something though, because the amount of folk and the infrastructure currently there,
Mhm.
something's gonna have to come to a head here soon, especially Conway. It's too
Well,
much, too
yeah, it's
fast
too.
for the infrastructure that's there.
Yeah, it's too much
Okay.
traffic, and uh, Myrtle Beach is so it ain't Myrtle Beach when we was growing up.
Okay.
If
Gotcha.
you walk in the strip, you might wanna put on bulletproof vest, and if you walk in the strip with your lady, you might want to have bodyguards with you because they gonna snatch them.
Oh man. Well, I think
It's
I'll just
like
stick
that,
to
bro.
Charleston then.
Oh, that's where everybody go now. Folly Beach, Chucktown, go to the islands. That's your best bet. Or
Hmm.
go down to Tabby.
Mount. So you said
Yeah,
ride through, don't stop going.
The what?
The Myrtle Beach is ride through, just keep going.
Oh,
Don't
don't
even
even go
stop.
that way. You know the cut when you get down to Ainer and you go up 22 to go to North Myrtle Beach.
Uh huh.
Take that cut, bro.
Yeah.
Don't go
Take that way.
down. Don't go
Okay.
down. 501. Don't go that way.
Don't even hit the outlets.
Uh-uh. You hit the outlet on the north end. You don't hit the outlet on the strip.
what
It's a
outlet
different.
I
It's a,
go to? Because
it's a
I go to
different
the night
world, but
outlet every time. So
huh?
where's that? I
The
go to the
Nike
night
outlet,
outlet every
the one
time.
on 501.
Okay, because you know
Yeah.
me, I am
Yeah.
going to get my Nike. That's
Oh, you got
just
to do
in
that.
my
Now,
DNA.
now I'm going. Don't get me wrong. Now I
Yeah,
am going because that's the only one I can
Yeah.
find clothes to fit my big behind. So
But you just on alert when you go. Gotcha.
hey, look at it. You go when the sun is high in the sky.
Oh, there's certain parts of Atlanta too, but it is what it is.
Oh, I mean, I'm comfortable down there. There ain't no problem. Look here, I live in Beirut now, so I mean, what you expect?
Yeah, they
Columbia
got all
is
kind of areas.
terrible. Bo, Columbia, uh-uh. That
Yeah,
Beirut now, Bo.
it used to be you can go anywhere. Now, it used to be something used to be the bad area, or the south
Nah, bro.
side of Columbia, down by Williams Bryce. That used to be better.
Oh no,
Yes, that's
you can go
still.
to 48 now. Yeah,
Oh, you
no.
can?
Yeah, you can go to 48. You just can't go up North Main. Mm-mm.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
Mm-mm. North Main, Fairfield Road, Monticello. No, bro.
hmm
Stay from over yonder.
I, now, I didn't mess with Monticello back in the day.
Well,
But not,
we ain't gonna get into that because I already know. We peruse places back then. We
Yeah.
thought
that's
we
what
was
it's supposed to
invincible.
be. They say don't go, you go.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead and kick off 44 stack. It's gonna be a short show tonight
Yeah.
because you know what? This is the most unhappiest time of the year because we winding down the football season, man. And I can truly say this year has been a great football year.
Yeah.
Football has
hmm
been worth watching. Now, it's been some duds. I ain't gonna say it ain't been, but football has been really worth watching. And I think the playoff really added something to the season because the
hmm
pundits said that the playoff was going to diminish the regular season. I could disagree more. Made the regular season more important because yeah, you might lose one game, might lose two games, but you better not get to three
hmm
because that wasn't gonna get you there, brother.
So let me ask this question because I've been working most of the time when most of the games were going. How did the college playoff affect the regular bowl games? Was the attendance down? I know we already going towards having your players sit out, the ones that may be going to the draft, the ones that's not wanting to go. But how did it do for the attendance for the bowl games? Did they say was it down overall? The viewership?
It
I've
would be
never
like
looked at one of the other bowl games.
unless Clemson was playing in a non-playoff bowl game. Now I did watch the Gamecocks in Illinois. That was a spirited matchup,
hmm
to say the least. The Gamecock fans
hmm
here crying about officiating and Brett Bielema and all of that with what's called. But it's like I told y'all when the game was going on. And we're gonna talk about this when we get to the pros. At some point, yeah, your
hmm
identity can be we're gonna take chances, we're gonna take risk, we're gonna try to be special on special teams and things of that nature. But at some point, when you building your program or your team, you just gotta line up and play football sometimes. And nobody's gonna criticize Shane Beamer because he's football royalty. His dad is Frank Beamer and all this here. But he blew the game against Illinois. I'll just be real about that because you do dumb stuff that you didn't need. You was lining up and moving the football against them, but when you have to rely on trick plays or fake punts or uh, double reverses on kickoffs, bro, that ain't gonna get it, man. If you ain't got the people to match up, that's one thing. But you supposed to be, and
hmm
I say this all the time. The Gamecocks always claim the SEC. You know, we SEC, but you ain't got no depth. And I've never understood how you could be so you never have depth. Even when, and this ain't just a bowl game because you have people opt out. This is during the regular season. You don't have anything behind your starters ever. And you a SEC
hmm
program, you know, you don't, is that lack of recruiting or is that because you can't say you ain't got money because you got money. Uh, there's something missing
hmm
because you still are lacking, just like when Lenoris went down in the LSU game, they brought in the little boy from Auburn that had played quarterback and he stunk. I mean, why you ain't got a backup quarterback?
hmm
You
hmm
know, you're not gonna tell me you couldn't find
True.
somebody that was. But then at the same time, you held on to Luke Doty. Luke Doty been in school 7 years, um, and he still ain't playing. So why is
hmm
he still on the team? You know what I mean? You moved him. He's been quarterback, wide receiver, tight end. Bruh, he ought to, if he ain't got a doctorate by the time he graduate this year, I mean something wrong because he didn't been in school forever. You didn't try him everywhere you could possibly go. Now, if he come back next year, I'm really need to be looking at, all right, your COVID year should have been used up because you didn't been in school for a long time. But the thing that bothers me, and I say this, we'll start a rumble or whatever. Thing that bothers me, he was Mr. Football in South Carolina. South Carolina did everything in their power to make sure he got a chance to play quarterback. DeCarrion Jonah, when he was in school, was Mr. Football in South Carolina. He won you a bowl game playing quarterback. You never gave him an honest chance to be quarterback. And my thing is, if Lenore's come out here this year and stink up the field, they gonna move him along too. He'll be tight end before it's over with. They love him now, but you know how they is now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I love. Yeah. South Carolina's gonna always be where they are in the SEC. It ain't gonna really ever change. It's like that with Mississippi. I mean, it'll take a miracle for them to actually compete for a national championship. They just don't. They don't have it. I mean, they've never had it. I have never seen a place of them ever. I mean, they've been close. They'll get close. The sun shines on the dog's ass every once in a while, but South Carolina is going to be what they are. 3-4 losses, middle of the pack, SEC school. And that's what you good. That's all I've ever seen from them. They might come up a little bit, but that's generally they revert to the mean. That is the mathematical term.
I mean, that's I think it's 123 years now, 123 years of football history. This is the stat I throw at everybody. For the first probably 70 years of the rivalry with Clemson, you played in Columbia every year until 1959, but you got a 30-game difference in wins and losses, but you had home field advantage for 70 years in the rivalry. So that just tell you right there. Yeah, Carolina is the state school. We understand that, but Clemson is the dominant program in the state. I would be even to say that South Carolina State is the second best program when everything is right in the state.
Except we never win that game, and every time we play them.
Well, I mean, you ain't supposed to, though. You ain't supposed to.
I've seen this at the best and at the worst. That is all. When they play Clemson and them, well, I can't say I would say South Carolina State the second. I will say they will be close. They'll be third just because that game has never been competitive.
It's never been a factor, but when you look at the history of South Carolina State and what South Carolina State has produced from a football
perspective,
yeah. I mean, South Carolina State is the black college, and they got more NFL players than the University of South Carolina. That says everything you need to know, and that's a historically black college. So that tells you everything. And now that Furman and Coastal and them have gotten a lot bigger, I mean, they putting in more players. Again, you still the SEC. But that's always been what it is. All right, let's talk about the game Monday night.
I
was impressed. It went the way I thought it would, but I was impressed with Notre Dame because they got down, and I was like, man, this is finna get ugly. And all of a sudden, I give Marcus Freeman credit. They need a quarterback, though. That's one of the things that they lack.
Thing, though. I think they tried to change their identity coming out. I'm not 100% sure because I hadn't watched a lot of Notre Dame, but they are, to me, they seem like a run-first type team, and they don't really pass a lot. So with that first drive, I think he was trying to establish something because they went heavy on the pass. Weren't pretty much all.
No, the first drive was completely
except maybe 2 plays. I remember passes.
Yeah, well,
he almost killed himself on that first drive. I didn't know he was survived the first drive. Yeah. They kept the ball for what, 8 minutes?
8 minutes.
Yeah, 8 minutes that first.
But toward the end, they got kind of pass happy though, didn't they? Like,
well, it kind of opened up.
Go ahead. Yep.
It kind of opened up for them just because they had to get in that mode. Riley Leonard is not a great passing quarterback. He's a great running quarterback. That was I felt like their biggest detriment going into this game. That plus they lost a couple of offensive linemen in the game last week against Penn State that probably needed them at this point. But here again, here's one of those situations where quarterback play is just thin all across the country. I'm just gonna be honest. College, pros, quarterback play, you can find a special one. You got to nurture that to death. Everybody ain't got one. If they had a better quarterback, this might have been a closer game. But I ain't gonna put it on Riley Leonard. I mean, they did all they could. The play call at the end of the game when they got the first down, you went 0 blitz, you can't get beat. It's all on you, baby. You can't let nobody get behind you. But the thing is, he was living by like they've lived all year, going 0 blitz. That's their thing. But sometimes you got to realize what the situation is too. I would have doubled Johnson because I already knew he was getting the ball. But everybody don't. In the heat of battle, sometimes you don't think about those type of things. But I knew if anybody was gonna get the ball, it was probably gonna be him. And I know when Will Howard went to the line and he saw wasn't no safety in the middle, he was, oh my God, I can't believe it. But that boy 1-on-1 with anybody right now, shoot. You put Deion, Champ, Bailey, and all of them out there. They can't do nothing with that boy.
I always said that Notre Dame had to play perfect to win that game. Ohio State could play about 80%, 85%, and still win just because of the sheer speed at the skill position. If either one of the running backs they get the hole, it's over. Like the wide receivers, it was a valiant effort. Never did I think Ohio State would lose the game. I never thought the game felt threatened to me. I felt a valiant comeback, but I always thought it would probably fall short just because you couldn't, at any point, if you would have gave the ball back to Ohio State, they were going to score.
They were going to score. Yeah.
So it's that kind of skill player difference. They can score in 1 or 2 plays. It take 8 minutes for Notre Dame to score.
Right.
To put it in perspective. Yeah.
Right. That's the best way to say it, Dave. The other part of it is even though Notre Dame is still Notre Dame, you can tell the lack of playmakers on both sides of the ball caught up with them because they were playing a team that was superior in every facet because it's Ohio State. You know what I mean? But looking at it, like I say, valiant effort. Really looking at next year, I believe Notre Dame will be in the mix again.
They will always be in the playoffs to me now. I think 2 teams, Penn State and Notre Dame, will always be in the playoffs. I just want to put that out there. You will see, at least for the next 5 years, unless they die off.
Well,
because Penn State will always come in number 3 in the Big Ten, and Notre Dame is an independent. They'll always win enough to sneak in, maybe get the 12 thing. But the playoffs, if it's 2 teams it benefited, was Penn State and Notre Dame. Because Penn State will now forever be in the playoff.
Yeah. And I agree with that because if this was the 14 playoff, them 2 would have never been in.
No. 12 always in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now they got to do some tweaks. I mean, honestly, I love the playoff. It was good. People gonna criticize them first round games, but you got to understand the first round games on campus. That's a difference. Okay, this ain't a bowl game. The first round game is on campus. Okay, that is by itself a shock if you've never played in a situation like that. I mean, all the teams that had home field in the first round had 80 to 100,000 fans. Notre Dame was the smallest, I think, because they round about 80. Penn State is the biggest. It was like 110. Even with Tennessee used to playing in 100,000 seat Neyland Stadium, went to Ohio State. That was 105,000 right there. It blowed their mind because they had never experienced other than playing in the SEC. But again, you put crowd noise and it's cold as I don't know what out there. Oh, you can't do that. You can't function like that. Okay.
No.
But I honestly believe now, if I would make a change, I would probably say the first 2 rounds, the quarterfinals need to be played on campus too. I feel like that. If you're gonna still utilize the bowl games, you use the bowl games only for semifinal and for the championship game. Everything else, uh, play it on campus. Earn the right, because if you earn the right to get you a home game on campus, by all means, play the game, man. I would love to see, because this is the only time you're gonna see the matchups. I mean, who would ever thought you would have seen Ohio State, Tennessee on campus? You know, nobody. Uh, think about if Georgia, Notre Dame would have been, instead of the Peach Bowl, if they would have been at Stanford, at Sanford Stadium.
Yeah.
Might have been a different story. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
I mean, give Notre Dame all the credit in the world. They physically assaulted Georgia. So which leads us.
That was just heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. Which
That was
leads
just
us
heavy.
to,
They are heavy. That's why I said
Mhm.
what is an interesting clash. You know, when you know how they got the superheroes, they about to, you know, in the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
You put up
Mhm.
Legion of Doom thing, or you know, when they about to hit it. This Big Ten SEC
Yeah.
is gonna be very, because you are dealing with speed versus just
Mhm.
lay that weight on you, cold weather. I got 350 all across the board.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do. And that was going to be the interesting thing, that bigness. And now, and I was reading something, so I understand the flip. Larry Ellison, Oracle CEO, has said personally he will show up any NIL deal for Michigan as necessary. So this goes to back what I said. You are dealing with them Big Ten schools with graduates with buku cash. I'm talking
Mhm.
about, and now you're getting into tech cash. Now,
Yeah.
Mhm.
what if Balmer says, what if Balmer just says, I'm going to show up, Stanford, whatever you need for NIL, I got you.
We destroy it.
I'm like, that's why we need a law, because you are getting into bidding with people you can't possibly understand the money that Larry
Mhm.
Ellison could buy the SEC 20 times over, except
Yes.
for
Mhm.
Texas.
Except for Texas.
Yeah.
Now you are starting to get the tech folk dipping in. And once
Mhm.
that happens, that is unlimited pockets. And
Yeah.
this is why, and this is all for a call to action to get some laws around this, because the smaller state schools, mark my words, there's nothing that
Mhm.
South Carolina can do in the end, a Mississippi State, because
Nope.
you just don't have that juggernaut of money. So get a commissioner, go work with whatever, and get a law in place, because this is getting crazy. Like it
Well,
Yeah.
flipped literally because he came in and gave the other 2 million. And like I said,
Mhm.
the last thing you want to do is to unleash Big Ten money, because you're talking about tech money, and it's long and strong. And so I'm very
Mhm.
interested to see how long this is going to be, because Finnenbaum said it this morning. The Big Ten is going to rule college football for the next 10 years, probably, if we don't get some restraints in place for all of this NIL stuff, because the kids are about the bag. Ain't no loyalty to where you at no more. You're going for that bag.
you
And
got
so this,
some.
my thing is, let's get something in place, man, because this is getting ridiculous.
Well, but
Yeah.
even with Big Ten money, let's just be real about this here. When it comes to Big Ten football, there are two programs. I don't count the West Coast teams because they still West Coast teams, but uh, everything in the Big Ten is still Michigan, still Ohio State. That is how it has been.
Mhm.
Occasionally, you get your Wisconsin jumps up or Iowa, but you ain't
Mhm.
gonna have that no
Did
more.
you see Penn State mauling Georgia the way they did?
Yeah,
No,
because
no, no. T, you cannot say, because we are not conditioned to see what we saw from Penn State, Georgia. I am conditioned, and no way you can say this. You're conditioned the SEC and them type of matchups, because the plodness and the slowness of the Big Ten, it was always
Mhm.
strict domination. It wasn't even close in those games.
well,
But they now have taken, because when you go look at Penn State, a lot of them cats are down from the dirty, especially a couple of linebackers, and the ones he got back up, because I don't know how they get, like you said, South Carolina has no depth. Penn State has the most depth on defense that I may have ever seen. But what I am saying is, my eyes, I'm not going to lie about me, my eyes were not conditioned to see the mauling that Georgia took as an SEC school from you said it. It's really about Ohio State and Michigan, but Penn State laid a hammer, and I am not used to seeing that. Well, I don't care what nobody says. Nobody from the dirty is used to seeing what we saw that Penn State laid on Georgia or any SEC school, because they probably would have did it to any of them.
Well, here's the thing.
Outside of Texas, man.
Penn State, backbone, staple, everything has always been defense, period. Even go back to the Joe Paterno days. They have an identity. The only teams in the South that have that same type of identity is your Clemsons, your Georgias, your Bamas, Miami to an extent, because those are the type players that they've always recruited. Defense was always what made them, everybody talks about Bama, but here's the thing. Bama always had a pedestrian offense. The defense is what kept them in everything. Because you got, he recruits Alabama. If you recruit the state of Alabama, the state of Mississippi, and the state of Louisiana, that's the kind of brother you gonna get. I'm sorry.
And Alabama really is about the coach. It's not about the program.
Yeah.
But before Saban, Alabama was very mediocre. Then they won that thing in 92 or whatever. I think, they beat Miami. Who did they play? Miami.
They beat Miami. Right? They beat Miami in 92.
They didn't win anything before that except for Brett Bryant and his reign. But for most of my lifetime, Alabama has been pretty pedestrian outside of Saban run. For most of my life, Alabama has been regular.
That's
when you think about not the recency, they've been just regular.
Well, really, if you go from 1992 in the SEC expansion, it's only been 4 teams in the SEC, really. 5 if you want to throw it in there. But it's been Bama, it's been Georgia, it's been LSU, it's been Auburn, it's been Florida. That's it. That is it. The other schools in the SEC, they thump their chests about that. Ole Miss is never going to win a national championship. It's never going to happen. Okay. I've been fussing all this year. There's no reason LSU got 4 losses, man. Why? Brian Kelly. That's all I'm gonna say. Brian Kelly. LSU. If you look at LSU's roster and look at the type of ability that they have thoroughly underachieved. And here's the thing, going into next year, it's going to be a bigger gap because, now Ohio State loses a lot, but Ohio State got a lot on the sideline ready to go play. Michigan finally, I don't know how this quarterback will play out just because he's freshman, but Michigan got defense. We already know that.
And lineman out the wide too, that's another thing. Back up.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting next year. Now, I will say I'm looking forward to it just because now, Dabo, here's your opportunity. And this, I'm speaking directly to Dabo. I
swear this is the perfect opportunity for Clemson to sweep in. And
let me tell you,
next year is such a perfect opportunity.
It'd be your 3rd year start, okay? You bring back virtually everybody on offense, okay? You bring back everybody on defense. You got a new defensive coordinator. Stop the run. Your first game automatically puts you square in the headlines because if you go to Tiger Stadium next year and you spank Brian Kelly, guess what? You're going to number 1. You already know it. Okay? This is for you, Dabo. It is on you. It is imperative that you take the spring and the summer whatever you need to do, whatever tweak you need to make, whatever style you need to play, get it in your head. It is there for you. Because I'm gonna tell you like this here. You should have beat Texas last year. Okay. You played around, you fumbled around, y'all did what you did all year. You know, if you can get a home game or get the bye, y'all will destroy because they never gonna send y'all back out west. Y'all always gonna be here. You either going to the Orange Bowl or you going to the Peach Bowl. Y'all already know that. You ain't got to travel no more. So
I am the defensive coordinator. Oh boy, I am very high. I am even higher than he's told me to be last year. I'm even higher than Dabo told me to buy stock last year. Then I'm higher this year than them because I'm always a third year quarterback starter. Right? This is the year. Offensive line, you got a defense, and like you said, see everybody. You now got a defensive coordinator. They show what they can do. They maul Georgia. You give them the personnel, you know how to line them up, you execute. Man, next year I am very high. Now watch what happens. It'll be just like the Georgia game last year. I hope not. And my whole damn world, what's that song? My whole world come tumbling down. My whole world tumbling in.
He did an excellent job. Coach Allen did an excellent job at Penn State with the type player that Penn State recruits. Think about what this man could do with Clemson, with linebackers that can run, with defensive line that create all kind of terror. Okay.
No, I would like him to take that whole defense he had last year from an effort perspective and replace it with the Clemson defense. Because last year was more about his effort. They would play the first 2 quarters and then just stop. And I don't know, like they were gassed. It was a conditioning thing. I don't know what it was, but boy, did we get stomped. Starting what it would usually be about the 4-minute mark in the second quarter through the rest of the damn game.
Because he would not adapt. And it was clear you had Georgia pretty much stonewall the first half. And then you get to that point, and then the second half, they go to the spread and totally discombobulate the whole defense. You can't you got to be able to adapt to that because you already know if you going in and make adjustments, they gonna do the same thing. But you got to do but you can't stick with the same thing. Oh yeah, we're gonna keep doing this. No, bro, you cannot do that. That is not good. But then I understand Dabo wanted to give that man because he was on staff and he had been a good soldier for him. But sometimes, bro, you need somebody that's not on staff. Sometimes you need somebody that ain't, he a good guy. Man, sometimes you just need old crazy man to call defenses and whatever, because that's the most important thing. You rule the South by your defense. That's one of the reasons why Alabama is struggling now. It's one of the reasons Kirby's struggling. Because Kirby's defense was not the same defense since all them boys. They play in Philadelphia. They don't play in Athens. The whole team, the whole national championship team played for the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Come on. Who does this?
Yeah.
And why the NFL allowed them to pick everybody from Georgia? I mean, come on, man. That whole team is Georgia. But we'll get to that in a minute. Now, before we finish up with the college, I saw this and I sent it to y'all. The ACC got to be the dumbest conference. They came up with this, and I'm like, why? Their answer.
You don't like the playoff within the playoff?
No, I don't. Because let me tell you why. If you're the regular season champion, okay, why would I take you off the field and not have you play in the championship game? You gonna let number 2 and number 3 play against each other for what? It means nothing at that point. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So my thing is,
I haven't read this. What happened now,
bruh? Yeah, that was the proposal they made because they having winter meetings this week. They made the proposal of like last year to guarantee themselves a spot in the playoff. SMU, they should have put SMU not to play and should have had Clemson and Miami play for the ACC championship. I'm like, you don't do that in basketball. You know,
Yeah, that's stupid.
if
Yeah,
that was the
that
case,
never
how
get no
many
break.
times would Duke and North Carolina not play in the ACC tournament? Now, one
Yeah,
of the great things about the ACC tournament is this: the best team in the ACC don't always win the ACC tournament.
no.
We have
That's
watched
true.
our whole life. The greatest 3 days I've ever seen in my life, Randolph Childress destroyed
Oh
us.
my goodness, man.
The greatest three
Uh
days I've ever seen in my life, man. I've
the
never
most
seen
frustrating
basketball like
thing.
that.
Oh,
Randolph, and and I tell anybody this here, Randolph Childress 3 days against North Carolina, Duke, and Maryland
it's crazy.
destroyed everybody. He put 40 piece every night. That by itself was a thing. And then people forget who else was on that team with it. He had Rodney Rogers and Tim Duncan.
Oh, yep. Man, he went on.
And Tim Duncan, yeah.
He went on.
He's on the ACC network doing commentary now.
Bro, every
It's crazy
time they
because
get
that
the
was the first time
tournament.
I saw him in forever. I forgot. You always remember the run, but like where are they now? And I saw him the other night during the Virginia Stanford game.
Bruh, that is the greatest. That is the greatest. Everybody love to talk about old boy for UConn. When they won the championship.
Yeah, yeah. I'd say that was the greatest run from a tournament transposed to the
big tournament.
To the NCAA tour because he never stopped.
Yeah.
He took that same, what was his name?
He played for the Hornets. I can't even call his name now.
Guard. Gordon.
Oh, you talking
about not Gordon.
Not big Gordon.
The point guard.
No, you talking about I see him, little short dude, not short, but dark skin. I just saw him playing the other night. What's his name?
He's
I gotta look it up now. No, he's out now.
I remember that championship game. They played 5.
Kimber Walker. Here we go.
Kimber Walker. That was it.
Kimber Walker. Yeah, that's it. Kimber Walker. Yep.
Kimber Walker had the greatest march you ever seen. But for one weekend in the 90s, Randolph Childress just put on a show. And everybody could say, man, shoot, you can't say nothing back there. That man took all 3 of them down. And this wasn't no sorry North Carolina or sorry Duke or sorry Maryland. No.
Yeah.
This was domination. So I just think it's dumb. ACC, look here.
Yeah.
Figure out how to generate money. You want to make more money out of the playoff? Make sure your football teams are worth something. Okay?
Yeah.
If your football teams ain't worth nothing, you ain't gonna make no money. I'm sorry. Right now, Clemson is the flag bearer. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to SMU this year for getting there in the first year. But there are teams in the ACC that have been in the ACC, Miami, for 20 years, Miami, and have not lived up to the capabilities that we have said, Miami, that when we put this conference together, Miami, that you should have been when you came into this. Because the big thing when all of this came together, it was supposed to be, we're going to get Florida State and Miami every year, 2 times a year. Have yet to get either one in the same game at the same time. And really, Florida State has really pissed themselves to a point where they're never going to be relevant again. Mm-hmm. Okay? Norvell has destroyed that. And you got a legacy. You have allowed the Bobby Bowden, Burt Reynolds legacy, because that's what sustained Florida State all them years. You've let that go by the wayside. Dabo and Tommy Bowden have beat y'all so much now that it ain't even funny no more. And it's like, it ain't even a game you feel like, oh man, this is where they're getting up for. It's not. Clemson has to play SEC opponents just to feel like they're in the game that matter.
The second best football school in the ACC just joined this year. That's SMU. Straight up.
Yeah.
The second best, they're going to be, because of what the support they're going to get, they are going to be the second best school in the ACC
all money
for a long time.
All money.
Yeah. They now can do
you don't think Belichick's going to turn it around
in the 80s legally.
Who?
Yeah,
You don't think
they
Belichick
are.
gonna do it
They
then?
entered as the second best school, and also don't know if you saw Miami, even in NIL can't do right. Wisconsin is
Mm-hmm.
suing them for what they did with their cornerback, for that tampering the cornerback. Even when you cannot have rules, only Miami can fuck up a rule.
Well,
Excuse
Yeah.
me, that is
the,
incredible.
the other part about Miami is this. Okay, ever since you disallowed Luke from helping the boy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
there's been a true destruction. Miami ain't Miami no more. If I'm Miami, first of all, stop playing in Dolphin Stadium because that's no place where you belong. Build you a stadium down in Coral Gables or Miami Gardens or wherever. Liberty City, more like it. Put the stadium there.
Then
Get
that
back.
stadium be gone in the morning.
No, don't put it.
Well, bro,
Put
hey,
the
you
Don't
gotta
put
do
it
what you
there.
stadium.
gotta
No,
do,
They
bro.
don't put
will
it there.
take the whole stadium, T. No, I was in the Army
Mm-hmm.
with a cat was from Liberty City. Man, let me tell you something. Them boy, they'll take that whole stadium and put it in somebody's backyard. They'd be like Phineas and
Mm-hmm.
Ferb. You ain't know
Well,
what
look
Yeah.
at
magic is happening.
look
Or,
at.
Yeah.
or they often food.
I would say put it in the middle of the Everglades if it mattered, but Miami is not relevant. You know
Mm-mm.
what I mean? It is
No, you
it is
you put it in
terrible.
Liberty City, you won't have a visitor there.
Hey, bro, but the thing is this here though. You looking at, I mean, literally when they brought you into the ACC, you were supposed to take the mantle. You, Virginia Tech, Florida State, y'all was supposed to be the flag
Mm-hmm.
bearers for football. What you have done, virtually nothing. Now, Virginia Tech's had a few years where they won the ACC since they've been in.
Mm-hmm.
Miami get the championship game, can't win. You know, Miami has a losing record against North Carolina and Georgia Tech. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from North Carolina and Tech, but at the same time, this is not Georgia Tech of the 90s. This is not the Sean Jones. This is not them, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Swilling. This is not those Georgia Tech teams. Okay.
So how long do you think before Bill Belichick turns North Carolina around?
Yeah.
I don't think it will.
Yes. You don't think so?
To the cusp, the precipice, but he
Mm-hmm.
won't.
North
I
Carolina.
still say it'll be Miami. I still say not Miami. I still say next year,
Mhm.
it'll be
Clemson
Clemson and SMU.
SMU.
The favorite
Yeah.
for the ACC.
Honestly, Kelsey, the reason why Belichick ain't gonna turn it around is the University of North Carolina. It's not gonna happen. North Carolina whole focus is basketball.
Basketball.
That's their whole focus. That's the only thing that matters. Manny Diaz, nobody talking about Duke football. Manny Diaz won 9 football games this year, bro. Ain't nobody said a word. Because you know
So you're
why?
saying it's another Alabama situation. Because Alabama is nationally ranked in basketball. But
Ain't nobody care
football is
about
king
that.
there.
Ain't
But
nobody care
see,
about
North
that.
Carolina, I looked, there's a thing that I read. North Carolina, there's only 3 schools whose basketball teams can revenue-wise support the
The
basketball
program.
because everybody else, Alabama, is funded by the football program. North
Right.
Carolina, Duke,
Mhm.
and Texas. And it's just because of the sheer size of just Texas. But those 3 generate enough revenue from selling jury, all of the stuff involved. And so with that by itself, North Carolina's football is just kind of an add-on. Duke football is an add-on, and Texas is just full of money. So it's just a different thing. And that's why they'll always be about
Rick Barnes still at Texas,
because
right?
that's just how it's been.
No, Rick Barnes
Rick
at
Barnes still
Tennessee.
coach at Texas.
He at Tennessee.
Oh, he at Tennessee now?
Shaka at Texas.
No,
Shaka at
Shaka
Texas.
and Marquette.
Oh, yeah, he did
Yeah,
leave.
he is in
Who at
Marquette,
Texas now?
Nobody. Texas sucks. It was they hired Beard, then they fired him for some.
Yeah, they fired him last year.
Yeah, and then I don't know. Yeah, they are Midland. They are doing nothing right now. And Arkansas ain't doing crap. And I told people he can recruit, but he can't coach. And I'll leave everything else alone.
Oh, Calipari can't coach, man. I could have been said that. You got too much talent for you not to be the one, but one championship. Come on, you just like
he took all the Kentucky players over to Arkansas, right?
and they
Left
doing
him with
nothing.
nothing. And
And
Pope
Kentucky
has
winning.
a way better record.
Kentucky winning.
Mhm.
That's all. People used to be like, why y'all want to run Calipari? They knew what was going on. Because I got news for you. If Hubert don't get the Tar Heels in the right direction, he's going to be
man,
gone
I'm
too.
tell you right now, T, and you know how I am about my heels.
Mm-hmm.
Hubert, I think so. If they get the NIL thing right, and
if they can get it right,
and if they get Caleb Wilson, which is crystal ball and the best player in the country, 6'7" forward, right, and get the big man, and next year is his year to produce. If he don't do it next year, he's gone. That they're going to give him to the Caleb Wilson, and they're going to give him the big man. And if he don't do it next year, he was gone. I'm with you on that.
Roy is at every game now. And let me tell you what, Roy ain't there just because. Roy there for a reason. Hubert got a lot of positive feedback when he took out Krzyzewski. That bought him them years what he got now.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't be a middle of the road ACC team being the head coach at North Carolina. Ask Brad Daugherty.
Nope.
Not Brad Daugherty, Matt Daugherty.
Matt, yeah.
No, you can't do that because you got to remember something. What do North Carolina have right there?
But what symbol is that?
What symbol is that?
Now, when they open that book and the state gets these laws right, like I said, that's when Hubert's next year. Hubert will have next year, and that's it.
Look here, Mike fronting you, bro. You shouldn't be wanting for nothing at that point because there's no way if they allow them to do like everybody else doing and allow them let Michael foot everything for North Carolina, man, please.
Yep.
All programs at North Carolina better be better than what they are right now. Belichick. I'm just gonna leave it at that. All right. So let's go to the NFL, man. Woo. Playoffs is in full swing. Let me tell you something. Mm-hmm. In the words of my good friend, co-worker, and all around, just one of the best fellas you ever want to meet from Wysocki, South Carolina. Jaden Daniels is a bad motor scooter.
That's a bad motor scooter.
That's a bad motor scooter. Man.
He's got pause. He's got a lot of pause. He doesn't get rattled.
Boy, he do his heartbeat is the question. I mean, everybody else look like they frantic. He got there like he in slow motion.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He like in slow motion, man. To see the Commanders where they are, knowing full well where they was last year, and seeing where they are now, you can clearly, honestly. Now, they ain't going to give it to him, but honestly, he deserved to be MVP, bro. Honestly. They ain't going to give it to him. They're going to give him Rookie of the Year, but he honestly deserved to be MVP because nobody thought that the Commanders were going to have this record. Nobody thought that the Commanders were going to be this good, this quick. It just lets you know Dan Snyder destroyed that franchise, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Commanders. Yeah, this is the Commanders / Redskins we remember growing up with. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They are dominant. And it honestly, as a Steeler fan, I feel happy for the Commanders fans because they have a joy right now that you can't take it away from them, bro. You cannot take it away from them.
Can Dan Quinn get in where they need to be?
We're going to have to see, bro. I don't know. I mean, you know, Dan Quinn has the biggest Super Bowl collapse of all time. That is the worry.
I don't want him to go to the Super Bowl, though, because I'm going to tell you why. Every rookie, though, well, I only know one, Dan Marino, and that cat never saw it ever again.
Well,
I don't want him to go to the Super Bowl because if you don't win, you seem to be chasing that for the rest of your career. That's why I don't want him to go as a rookie. Well, I would rather him go like next year or something like that. But the only other thing that I know of a rookie quarterback going to the Super Bowl is Dan Marino. And, well, we all know how that played out.
Well, let's say it like
King this. King of 9 and 8 and 8 and 8.
I would say every now and again, you get this transcendent player
And you say
that
Marino
comes
was.
along.
Then you say Marino was. Be
Oh
careful.
no! I know Dan was, but the
because
rules,
everything you about to say, you can say about Marino.
the rules were different then, and then you look at the biggest fundamental flaw. Miami never gave Dan a complete team. Never gave. Dan is the only. This, and I throw this on people all the time because they don't understand football. Dan Marino is the only quarterback that is in the Hall of Fame that does not have a Hall of Fame receiver.
Yeah. No, because the closest would have been Clayton. And I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame.
He's never get Duper and Clayton is never going to get in. They don't have.
I know Duper ain't getting in. Yeah,
they don't have the stats, man. They don't. People, when I say that, people think, oh, I say, Dan Marino does not have a Hall of Fame receiver in the Hall of Fame. John Elway has Shannon Sharp. Okay, that's the only one. Now he gonna get Rod Smith eventually.
I'm about to say, I thought
he gonna get Rod Smith eventually. But Jim Kelly has Andre Reed. Roethlisberger is gonna end up. He's gonna either fool behind Antonio Brown or Hines Ward or somebody.
Who? Who they won't let in?
They'll never let Antonio. They'll never let him in.
Well, but the thing about Antonio Brown, he got the stats. He got the
stats. They're gonna get him on the first call.
Yeah, look how long Keon had to wait.
Yeah, he gonna have to decide. What that thing is when you about to die, the Veterans Committee, like they do.
Yeah, the Veterans Committee would be the one to put him in.
You gotta be like 85.
They ain't gonna vote him in.
No,
they ain't voting him in. No, but it highlights what I say. If you're a Hall of Fame quarterback, and we all know the Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but every Hall of Fame quarterback has a Hall of Fame receiver except Dan Marino.
Or running back, because Elway also had TD.
Yeah, he sure did.
But I'm saying to get passes, you're gonna have to have one or the other. You know, Dan Fouts has 2 Hall of Famers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the thing. Marino did more with less than anybody. Okay. Yeah. But one of the things I can say about Jaden Daniels, I don't know who number 2 is for the Commanders. That boy playing ball, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
That boy is playing ball. He is playing out of his mind. Terry McLaurin gonna get his. I understand that. Yeah. That boy in the last month has
somebody had to step up though.
Stepped up, bro. He is, and then Zach Ertz is so reliable. Zach Ertz is the anti-Mark Andrews.
I knew it was coming. I knew that's where you was going with that one. I felt you on that. I knew that was coming.
Zach Ertz is the anti-Mark Andrews right now, bro. Because right now he catching everything.
I knew that was coming.
He catching everything, man. The commander, Bobby Wagner. Think about this here, y'all. The Legion of Boom. Okay? Legion of Boom. Bobby Wagner is gonna go down as the leader. It's not gonna be Earl Thomas. It's not going to be Richard Sherman. Now, it could have been Cam, because Cam was, if Cam wouldn't have got hurt, Cam was the prototypical strong safety in the league, because Cam was killing people, bro. Okay? But it's going to go down as Bobby Wagner, man. And Bobby Wagner messed around. Bobby Wagner will have been on 3 Super Bowl teams. He would have been with the Rams. He's been with the Seahawks. If the Commanders take next step, bruh. I mean, and let's be real about this here. The Eagles, Saquon is having a marvelous year. Love you, Saquon. I'm glad you brought the glory back to the running back position. You and Derrick Henry, y'all have showed us this year. Running back still matter. Okay?
Yeah.
Running back still matter. I always knew it, but people had forgot because they had got pass happy. If you can run the ball, you can take somebody's soul, man, and that's what you want. Okay, Saquon running all over everybody, but let's be real about this here now. Philly's detriment is Jalen Hurts cannot throw the football, and if Dan Quinn can develop a way to slow down Saquon, you ain't got to stop him. Slow him down instead of 170, 130. That's all you need
Mm-hmm.
because this is the thing. The Commanders are going to shorten the game because they're going to go on these long drives because of the fact I'm going to go on fourth down every time because you can't stop my boy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, I'll do if I'm on play number 14 and I'm still at the 40-yard line, I'm gonna hit you with something, a deep pass, and you're gonna get disheartened because Jalen Carter is a dominant force on Eagles defense. But he can't run down that field chasing that boy all night, boy. He already know. He didn't did it when he was in college. He already know I can't do nothing with the boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Philly is going to do what you say Washington is going to do. See, I got it flipped. I have
You think they're gonna throw the
Philly
ball?
moving the ball, running the ball, and with long drives. Or if it's not long, it's because of what you said. Their drives are not, you know why their drives are not long? It's because of the glory of Mr. Saquon Barkley. Those
Yes.
are supposed to be 5 yards, 7, 8.
Mm-hmm.
But because he can do, he can do what Emmett couldn't do. Meaning, Emmett pounded you for the probably the yardage is about evened out to the same, but it was 5, 6, boom, boom, third, fourth quarter. Saquon, those drives are supposed to be like that because the offensive line is built like that. The court, everything is built to have a power running game. The problem is you got a freak ass athlete that should be 5 yards is an 85-yard touchdown. And that is why if that happens and slows him down, I actually think that's to the Commander's detriment because instead of him busting you for 30 and 40, he's going to pound your ass now with 5 and 6s and 7s. And I don't know if that's even what you want because they can do that for them too. 4th and 1. The tush push is almost unstoppable too. So you're going with, that's why I see that even slowing them down just means Saquon don't have 8 yards to carry. We got 4.5, 5 yards to carry.
Well,
Which do nothing but first down and holding the ball for 8 minutes in the first quarter.
Well, the key is this here, and this is the X factor for this game. Which coach gonna screw it up? Dan Quinn is known to do something stupid.
And so is
Sirianni.
And so is Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
They gonna do something.
It's a race to the bottom.
Yeah. I think Dan will pull it out.
It's a race to the bottom.
Now, from a coaching standpoint, Dan is probably a better coach
he's the better
than
coach.
Sirianni. Okay? But here's the thing about Sirianni. Sirianni emotions get the best of him more often than not. And because there's another layer on this game that ain't nobody talking about. This is a division game for the AFC Championship. They already can't stand each other. So you already know it's going to be some mess. It's going to be some mess.
The other thing, too, the biggest question mark on that is Jalen Hurts is not 100%.
That's what I was going to say.
If they can get the pressure, they're going to hurt him.
But honestly,
it's going to hurt their chances.
I'm going to be honest about this, though. Even if Jalen Hurts was 100%,
in the pass game.
I don't believe he could pass consistently enough. If for some reason they took away Saquon completely, I don't think Jalen Hurts could pass consistently enough because I don't think him.
He can't.
I think he has a better rapport with Smith than he does with AJ Brown.
His best is with Dallas, though. Dallas got it.
See, you brought it out in the chat when we was chatting during the Ravens game. This whole passing thing, man, screw that. I'm tired of hearing about passing because it is messing our folk up. They are trying to take our superpower and make us normal. Oh, pass. Screw that. Listen, I want Jalen Hurts to throw no more than 12 times because you don't need to. You left RPO right. Stop letting these people take our athletic superpower away. Lamar, you said it, T. What are they doing? Even though Andrews dropped the ball, whatever.
Forget that.
But at your heart, you are letting these people, and Jaden Daniels, this is why I'm going to bring it full circle, was the only one who ain't let them cats talk him out of when the run is there, damn it, I'm a run. And you, like the
but they
team
don't
that
criticize Josh
Philly
Allen for it.
has is built for power run. You should not be passing the ball no more than 15 times. You should be torturing teams. The offensive line is huge. You got the best running back in the league. The quarterback is big. But yet still, somebody said Antonio Brown is reading the book and he ain't getting the ball. Man, screw Antonio Brown. I'm trying to win a football game. I ain't worried about Antonio. It's cool wide receivers anyway. Yup.
Well,
Afrobeat and wide receivers are together. So, yes, screw him reading the book. Do what you got to do.
I used to play wide receiver, okay?
But, that was different. You know what I mean, man. You know what I mean.
But I say this here, and the biggest issue that I see,
I'm talking the prima donna wide receiver
with the Ravens is this: you've been a bully all year. Why you get to the playoff now? Just last week, now you ran for 300 on the Steelers. Okay, you ran for 300 on the Steelers. You get in this game Sunday night, you want to throw the football. Stop, Lamar. The reason why you don't go forward is because y'all do dumb stuff when y'all get opportunity to win. Y'all do dumb stuff. Forget the turnover. Take away the 3 turnovers. I'm not going to put all this on Mark Andrews, but I'm going to put this on Mark Andrews. You dropped the ball 2 times, okay? That's why you lost. Lamar, you dropped the ball once. That's why you lost. But let's be real about this here. Lamar, if you not dropping in the pass, if you just turn around and hand the ball to that monster you got behind you, who was not being stopped Sunday night, and then here's the thing. Y'all had already played Buffalo early in the year. Y'all ran for 300 on Buffalo. But y'all come out Sunday night with it's cold, it's snowy, when you should be turning around and running the football.
That's a run game.
You want to throw. I have no sympathy for none of these boys because y'all do it to yourself. Y'all do it to yourself.
I got a little theory on, now I'm going to get on the coordinator's ass on this. I think the coordinators call these pass plays because they're afraid they're not going to be creative enough. So when it's time for the job openings, right, you don't get them because you aren't running a complex enough offense. And so they throw in every once in a while one of these dumb, you remember T, like you said with the Notre Dame, the one to the tight end. You need to do that. But if you're offensive coordinator, you're like, man, it get boring. It can run. But, and then they say, all right, you need a job. And then if you say run heavy, you're not this, you're not that. And so my thing sometimes on coordinators, quit calling these pass plays when you don't need to.
Bruh, what killed me is, okay, since we want to go with the coordinator, let's go with it like this here. All right, you sitting here and you won from Thanksgiving to the playoff running the football. That been your bread and butter. Derrick Henry ran for 1,900 yards this year, y'all. The only reason he ain't got the rushing title is because Saquon ran for 2,000. So explain to me why you go into this playoff game against Josh Allen. You had 3 times the yards that the Buffalo Bills had. Josh Allen didn't throw but for $125. And you lost. You lost.
That's the key. They don't criticize Josh Allen for running.
But the other thing is Josh ran when he
needed to run.
Bust that touchdown, big boy took off. And he don't never think about it. And he wanted to one and then spaz out and do that thing. And this is why I'm telling, if he do it, you are stopping yourself if it's called a run play. You audible out because I see him do that sometimes. And you audible out to a pass because you don't want to be seen as such and such. I am like, dude, if you just get this Super Bowl, you have nothing left to prove. The only thing, or even make the appearance, because that'll be step 1. I mean, life is lived in steps. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. He's still 8 years in the league. I mean, just even take the step to get there. That's all you need to do is show that progression and do no matter what it takes. People gonna remember you winning the Super Bowl more than how well you can throw or whatever.
Look here. Most of your Super Bowl winning quarterbacks don't have these extraordinarily great passing days. There's only been a few, handful. Tom Brady, his that Super Bowl with the Falcons, because he had to bring them back. I think he threw for about 400 and some yards. He had to bring them back. That's the only reason that game. If you want to win the Super Bowl, it is a balance at some point, but it should be about 60-40 run heavy. Honestly,
Yep.
60-40 run heavy if you're going to win and dominate a football game. Because here's the thing, and just playing from an offensive standpoint, if every time I look around, I'm 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 1, guess what I'm doing? I'm putting a lick on you every opportunity that you get. But if I'm 3rd and 12 and you got them crazy defensive coordinators that we know, oh, he 3rd and 12. Let's see what we can come up with. I'm going to bring this fella. He ain't going to see him coming. Let's get him killed. Because that's what's going to happen, okay? A good defensive coordinator is, if he gets you, if you're going to consistently be in 3rd and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and a bar, he got something for you. 3rd and 1, he got to play two things. I got to play the pass. I got to play the run. Oh, man, how I'm going to stop this here? And that's one of the reasons why the Commanders have been so dominant. Commanders have been doing 4th and 5. Because you know what? I don't know what they're going to do. Is he going to throw? Is he going to run? Is he going to come up? Commanders are playing good football. Now, I would give Cliff Kingsbury his credit. He has done an outstanding job coordinating this offense. And he has tailored it to a man that he knows, okay, he can do anything he wants on the football field. All I got to do is make the call. That's all I got to do. Now, case in point, since we on coordinators, the Bears have signed. Well, do you want to do the Lions before we say about the coordinators?
Oh, yeah. I just don't like the space.
Go ahead. Dave, the floor is yours. Dave did a stunningly great analysis Saturday night about Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions, and we are giving the floor to Dave. Dave, go for what you know, baby. Go for what you know.
You cannot go that hard for a full NFL season and into the playoffs because you lose players. KG said it best when he learned that the game is 4 quarters and not 3. And he noticed that by the end of the 3rd quarter, because he gave it his all every quarter, you are still human. Stop listening to these damn commercials, 105% at every play and every. You can't do that. It just is not going to be possible to have something left in the tank for when it matters. So when he learned the 1st quarter to build up, 2nd quarter, make that run to halftime, right? That last 3-minute run that you do in basketball. Get 3rd quarter, that rest, and then dominate that, that last half of the 3rd and finish out the 7 or the 4, because that's how basketball is played. They win championships, and you compete, and he learned, you go long. Detroit tried to go balls to the wall for 17 football games and the playoff run, and they down to no players, and it caught up to them. And when they saw that the talent that came at them was no longer afraid, because that was really what they were banking on, folks being afraid of them. And when they saw Jay come in, it was over. They got the beat down that when you are properly coached, Tom Thibodeau, there you go, ruined D-Rose's career. He gonna get they looking good right now. The Knicks are killing. Brunson, they made that trade, got Cat.
Cat playing the best basketball he's ever played.
And watch what happened in the playoffs. He's gonna be worn down because he didn't even want to play for him the first time in Minnesota because of how he coached. So for all you guys that's this balls to the wall every game, every quarter, your lessons: Marion the Barbarian Barber, Earl Campbell, Okoye, all of these cats that like to run in the cats and 1,000. Go look at their careers and let me know what you see. Even Marshawn Lynch.
You can't.
People forget Marshawn was in no man's land in Buffalo. Marshawn really had, because people, full seasons, Marshawn might have played 3 to 4 full seasons of football. His personality outsizes that. But go look at it's probably 4 full seasons because your body. And then then them last ones, he got hurt because you can't run to people like that. You get hurt after you turn 28, 29, 30. You just can't be running into cats like that. Look at Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry never takes a hit head on.
No.
Think about it. It's like, as big as he is, he don't try to run. He will munch you but he is not running into you with his body and head and sacrificing that piece. Same thing with Saquon. Well, Saquon, you can't even.
But you can't catch it.
Can't catch it.
That's the thing.
And that's it. Dan Cameron, you got what you deserve, and I just don't like your face, step brother.
Honestly, I look at it like this here. I said last year when me and Kelsey did the show before you came on, Dave, that they blew their best chance last year when they lost to the 49ers. You were up 24-0. The same thing that caught up with them in the 49er game is the same thing that caught up with them this Saturday. You can't be biting ankles for 17 games, just like you said. You can't bite. You have 15 people on your defense on injured reserve because they biting ankles all year. It caught up with you. You end up playing the team. First of all, you end up playing. It didn't matter whether it was the Commanders, because we had already said if y'all played the Rams was going to beat y'all. Because if it wouldn't have been snowing Sunday, the Rams would have beat the Eagles. Okay. If that game would have been played in Los Angeles, the Rams would have ran the Eagles out of the building. Okay. But just looking at it, when you go that hard, it's gonna catch up with you, man. I don't care who you are. And the thing about it,
up to the 49ers too. Yeah. Look at Debo. Debo, all of that, everybody's destroyed. But when have you seen Debo finish a season?
Never. Because he can be hurt. Because you playing hard all the time.
When you see him start dressing like he dressed.
Well,
messing with him. He dressing different.
Sassy
balls. But anyway, the thing about the Lions, and I feel sorry for them just because you had a great season. Man.
But fan base,
we always said this was a possibility just because of the fact you can't go this hard all the time. And here's the thing, and I said this Saturday night in the text message. Trick plays is all well and fine, okay? When you building a program, that's what you're trying to do, to galvanize the team, get them excited. But at some point, you got to line up and just play football, bro.
Yes, sir.
That game was back and forth. You did one thing that you had no business doing, and that changed the whole. One play can change a game. When Jameson Williams threw that interception, the game was over. It was uncalled for. You are already struggling throwing the football, okay? Jared Goff was having a terrible game, okay? You're going to let Jameson Williams throw a ball and you turn it over because it was pretty evident. If I'm Aaron Glenn, because I got 15 people on injured reserve, you don't need to be doing no craziness out there because I'm working with baling wire and duct tape right now, trying to hold this thing together, bro. But you gonna go out here and you gonna run a trick play only because, and the reason why you run the trick play, I'm going to be the head coach of the Bears. I'm gonna let everybody know I got an offense.
I know, man.
I got an offense. But let me tell you something about this offense, okay? Bro, you finna go in the blistering cold of Chicago, Illinois, okay? You gonna play outside with a quarterback that's from the West Coast. Let me see how that gonna work out. Then on top of that, you might have all these, but let me tell you something. Some people, sometimes you can be a great coordinator. Don't necessarily mean you're gonna be a great head coach, okay? So let's look at it from that standpoint. Now, Ben Johnson, you're going to be the Bears coach. You got basically a ready-made team. You know how you can screw it up? Make the wrong hire for your defense coordinator.
Yep.
Make the wrong hire. You screw it up at that point. You know how else you can screw it up? Go in here with all this craziness on offense and whatever. Oh, it's fun. It's innovative. Turn around. The Chicago Bears play defense, run the football. Been working since Papa Bear, 1920. It ain't never changed, bro. Turn around, hand the football off, find you a running back, hand the football off, play defense, find you a competent quarterback that can make passing plays or can change the game, i.e., a Jaden Daniels type, because Caleb ain't it now. I'm going to tell you this now. Caleb ain't it. So, Bears, y'all still going to be in purgatory. Lions, welcome back to purgatory because of the fact you got to start paying everybody next year.
Yeah.
So that means you ain't going to be as good as you was. So you ain't going to have the players. And guess what? The Packers are sitting there looking at y'all like,
and that's speaking of the Packers, is I need to see that next step next year from Jordan Love. I know he was hurt last year. He started the season off hurt, so that's one. But decision making, because hurt and decision making are two different things.
Yeah,
I need to see next year him take that step in that decision making category, because he has it all.
The other part of it is this: how about win the division, bro? Get you a home game in Lambeau, okay? Yeah. Michael Vick ain't going up there no more. Get your home game in Lambeau, because let me tell you what's going to happen now. Okay, Minnesota really
done.
No, I ain't gonna say they done, but they got to start with a rookie quarterback next year, because Sam Darnold ain't it. Sam Darnold ain't it.
Darnold ain't it. No.
Yeah. No. Well, they already got him. He just got hurt.
He got hurt. McCarthy's there. McCarthy's there. But the thing is, Sam Darnold played lights out. Now, if I'm Kevin O'Connell, I got a quarterback competition in the spring. Sam Darnold is my I'm not naming him starter. I'm not paying him exorbitant amount of money. You know, don't think you're gonna get a bunch of money because he showed you the last two games when you really needed it. Oh, I can't do it. Mm-hmm. So don't pay him no pile of money. If he don't like what you offering him, let him walk. Go with McCarthy. Go with McCarthy. But here's the thing though. Jordan Love, win the division. That's what y'all need to do. Y'all still a young football team. And you know, other than y'all ain't got a lot of money tied up in everybody that's on that field. So y'all can be there. Okay. Detroit's finna come back to the pack because of the fact they got to pay everybody. And again, you can't have 3 consecutive years of biting ankles and think you ain't gonna fall apart. Okay. That's what's finna happen. All right. The Rams, if Matthew Stafford comes back, Rams is gonna be something to deal with next year. Okay, let's just go on and mark that down. 49ers are done. They're dead.
You know, I'm going to even say with the Rams, my commentary on that piece is, and I've said this before, and I'm going to stick to what I said until it don't happen. I don't think a quarterback for him matters. Like, say he has to start over. So what I mean, if Stafford doesn't come back, of course, you got to get a new quarterback and start it again. But he has shown me he's one of those coaches to me. He's reached that level that he's a coach. He's one of those coaches. He is right there, you know, like what, you know, you got Andy Reid and then you got pretty much the rest. I don't care what team he goes to me, he's going to take that team. Like Harbaugh. He's just like the Harbaugh who got signed with San Diego. He was going to win no matter where you put him at, because I've watched it now. He revamped the defense. You lost one of the greatest defensive players of all time. You got out the way. You let the defensive coordinators do what they do. The defense looked like it didn't even lose a step, because a lot of things that people don't realize as being a boss is letting people do their job. Let a person do their job, and sometimes things work wonders. He's the offensive dude. He knows how to get in and tinker, here and there. He won a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. No, Matt Stafford, but Jared Goff was like.
But Jared Goff got him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And so I just think he's one of those ones that can develop a winner, no matter where he goes about 2 or 3 years.
Him and LaFleur, I give them 2 credit. They off that same Shanahan tree. I think they're better coaches than Shanahan.
Shanahan.
Everybody gives Shanahan all this praise. Shanahan's terrible, man. Because I've never seen somebody do less with more than Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is a terrible coach, honestly. And it serves him right because see, last year you went to overtime with Mahomes and them, and you fired Steve Wilkes. And I'm just gonna be honest, you regret that now because your defense was terrible. Your defense was top 3 last year. You fired Steve Wilkes. That was a dumb move because somebody had to take the fall because you wasn't gonna be the one to take the fall because I'm the coach. Well, guess what, bro? You finna go to football purgatory. You ain't coming back because here's the thing: the Rams are built to probably run the West for a little while. If they give the Cardinals a few more players here and there, the Cardinals can be in that mix. Seattle, I don't know how much longer you gonna ride with Geno.
Oh, he's gone. He already cut.
Already cut. Okay,
no.
but you were hanging in there. You know what I mean? There is no exit strategy for the 49ers. The 49ers are going to stink because you paid people based on what? You got to the championship game, but you ain't winning.
McCaffrey's done.
Career is over, pretty much. Debo is going to be a shell of himself going forward. Once you start getting them kind of low extremity injuries, that starts to be over.
But here's the thing about Debo. Debo was like
you don't even like being there. No, I'm saying Debo.
True.
He got all of them extremity injuries going on, and that usually once that happens, it's just hard to recover. Like a big man basketball.
And honestly, let's just be real. The sassiness is not helping the situation either.
No. And then old boy didn't even want to be there anyway. He wanted to be with y'all, IU.
Look here. I knew when he was hollering about getting that money. He didn't need that money. Look here. There are certain teams, certain dudes. Justin Jefferson, prime example. Justin Jefferson, whether he had what's your boy Kirk Cousins or whether he had Sam Darnold, the boy put up numbers. Okay, that's a star. Okay, he deserved 35 a year. Okay, same thing with CD. Now I'm gonna say this, and don't Cowboy fan, please don't take this. But he played with Cooper Rush and Dak, still put up numbers. Those players deserve that.
Jamal Chase. I think no matter who you put with him, that dude just go stupid. Yeah.
But it's the thing. You know that dude when you see that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Brandon Ayuk has never gave me I need to fear him. He's never done that.
No.
Never. Because even in the playoff run last year, Jennings was the one that was making plays in the playoffs. It wasn't Debo. It wasn't him. It was Jennings. That's why I'm like, look, everybody want to get paid. I'm not getting on nobody for wanting to get paid. But here's the thing. Know your role, as The Rock would say.
Know your
role and shut your mouth. Because the thing is this here. There are stars and there are superstars. There are journeymen and there are good role players. Know what you are. Don't let your people blow your head up. You are not that.
There's a whole lot of stars on this stage here tonight.
Woo!
But whose house is it's Run's house. So you got stars, but it might be a whole lot of stars on that stage. But then you got your superstar. And that's what you need to know.
That's the only way you're gonna be competitive in this league. Okay. Now, let's talk about the coaching hires that happened the day before we get to the championship game on Sunday. Bears hired Ben Johnson. I think that's I think you really needed to rethink that after how you got exposed last week against the Commanders. I think you really need to rethink how good a coordinator is he really? Because let's remember something now. Dan Campbell is not calling plays. He's not an Andy Reid. He's not calling plays. So Ben Johnson made all those terrible calls in that game Saturday night. I would question the thought process. Now, for Aaron Glenn, I believe he was an excellent defense coordinator because he did a whole lot with net. You bringing people off the street and you still playing good defense, man. You did as best you could. So that shows that you know how to coach. But here's the problem. You took the wrong job. You shouldn't have went to the Jets. know it's 32. I know Dave said that last week. It's 32. It's 32 head coaching job. But bruh,
Mm-hmm.
you probably picked the worst job. Now, granted, I will say this: if you can turn the Jets around, you deserve everything you get. But history is
Just
not
get rid
on
of Aaron.
history is
Just
not
get
on
rid
your
of Aaron
side.
Rodgers.
And I think he'll have that. He'll have that leeway because Billy
Ah,
Johnson does not like Aaron Rodgers right now.
no,
Once
no,
he
he don't
said that
like him.
about his sons, that was it for Woody and Aaron Glenn, for Aaron Rodgers. So
Yeah,
I think he will have the latitude
he will
if he
have the
so
latitude.
chooses, yeah,
But
to do that because Aaron Rodgers burned that bridge once he talked about these folks. You know, they are very particular about their kids, and once you start doing
Mm-hmm.
that, he
you
burns his bridge
you
there.
you burn the bridge. You it was now let's be real about this. You shouldn't be listening to your kids that playing Madden
Well,
anyway.
no,
But here's the thing.
know your
He do
role
what he
though, like
want.
you said, T.
Look at he do what he
Exactly.
want because he own the team. Okay,
Yeah,
he do what he
exactly.
want. But here's the thing though. Aaron, I wish Aaron would have went to the Saints. Honestly, I think that was a better job for him. I think that was a better position for him. If he goes to the Saints and they get rid of Derek Carr within 2 years, I can see them in the playoffs. But you with the Jets, you are with the dregs of humanity. The Jets are never going to be anything. You don't have anything on the roster to stand up to Josh Allen. Josh Allen is the king of the AFC East right now. For years, it was
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady. You don't have anything to stand up to Josh Allen. You in New York, the Jets, they have some interesting pieces, but again, the Jets pay for your name, they don't pay for your play. That's just the way I look at it. I hate he took this job. I know he played for the Jets and whatever, but this ain't your Jets, bro. This is a different Jet organization. This is not back when Bill Partel was the coach of the Jets. This is not then, you know. And as far as Rex Kelsey, Rex should have known when he talked all that trash the other week about the Chargers. We talking about what's called had a bye against the Chargers. The Texans had a bye. I mean, the Chargers had a bye against the Texans, and the Texans smoked them.
Yeah.
That's sealed Rex right there. Look here, Bo. Rex, you're a great defensive coordinator. You are tied to one of the greatest defenses of all time. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
great. 2000 Ravens. 2000 Ravens is one of the greatest defenses of all time. Okay, but let's also remember something about the 2000 Ravens. Who was their leader? And who and why is the Ravens not the same as they are now? Because you know what? You're missing that fella in the middle. Okay. You can you can coordinate it all you want, but if you ain't got people to hold other people accountable, it does not matter.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads us to the Dallas Cowboys. Y'all really gonna do Schottenheimer? That's where y'all leaning toward. Y'all really
Y'all
gonna do
doing
that?
the Schottenheimer, man.
They going this
It's still
Brian Schottenheimer.
Schottenheimer's left in the league. I thought
Brian
the
Schottenheimer.
Schottenheimers had cycled themselves out of the league. Oh my
And
goodness.
here's the key. Here's the key to that before you get started, though, Kelsey. I'm just gonna say this here. The reason why Jerry looking at him, he was on staff last year. What did y'all finish?
Last year?
What did y'all
I
finish
mean,
this
this
year?
year?
Yeah.
This year? We was what, 8-9? Something like that. I think it
No,
was
y'all
8-9.
wasn't no 8-9 there. I don't think y'all was
They didn't
8-9.
finish strong or set no 7 and 10. They were
17?
8-9 or 7 and 10. They ain't
No,
finished
Okay.
no, we
bad.
were 8-9. I think we were
Y'all
8-9.
8-9?
I think so.
I don't think y'all do 8-9.
I'm gonna look it up now. I think we won. We may have won 8. Let's see. What was the Cowboys final? Nope, 7-10. 7 and
7
10.
and 10.
We thought
All
we were
right.
gonna be 8-9. We lost the last one, yeah.
7 and 10. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry's reasoning for this is well, there's continuity there. You know what I mean? There's continuity. We get back Dak Prescott next year. We make some plays here and
This what
there.
we doing. This is what we gonna do.
I'm
We
just
gonna do
saying
something
that
fun.
I'm just telling you what Jerry said. Jerry said, I'm the owner
How old
of
is
the
Jerry?
team.
How old is Jerry?
1,000.
82?
A
82, 83.
thousand. Yeah.
Jerry need to sit. Jerry need to sit down. His days are over with. They're done. But this is the reason why we always gonna be where we are, because like that clip I sent you, Jerry bought the team. He didn't say he bought the team. He bought an opportunity. He bought a job, and he's gonna
And,
do it to the day he can't do it anymore. And when he can't do it, I believe he's already groomed Steven to go ahead and do. I don't even believe Steven gonna be able to make a decision. I already think Jerry got the next 50 years written out in his will. We're not gonna be able to do
and
anything. So I
ownership
mean,
change is a wonderful thing. When you
Ain't it
have
though?
that's the
I'm
Commanders.
speaking.
That's the
So,
That's the
Commanders.
so my,
Commanders.
hey, and on my side, I'm an Orioles fan for baseball.
Oh, when y'all got rid of Peter Angelos?
They sold, as soon as Angelo sold, the Orioles all of a sudden started going back to the playoff. Lo and behold, he was the person keeping it all back. And since he sold 3 years in a row, back in the playoff. So ownership change, people don't realize it. Now, also ownership
Made
change
a big difference.
take you to the bottom too. But the right ownership change can infuse some good stuff into an organization, man.
Well,
I can't remember. I can't remember. You said it. Antonio said it, but when y'all made that comment that and I agree with it 100%. When Jerry got rid of Jimmy, the worst thing that could have happened is he won another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That killed it.
Yeah.
That killed it.
Because he could say,
I did it.
He said, I did it. Even though it was Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, and Emmitt Smith. It had nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
Hey, this is how he felt. What J. Jonah Jameson said, you want to be famous? I'm going to make you infamous. And
that's it.
That right there was his infamous moment, and he's been chasing it ever since.
Ever since.
Well, the stat that came out after the game Sunday was, y'all are now the only team in the NFC that has not made a conference championship in the last 30 years. Redskins was ahead of y'all. The Redskins, the Commanders was ahead of y'all. But now, and here's the thing. Let's just talk about the NFC East going forward. Eagles ain't gonna fall off because Eagles got good ownership, got good front office. They'll figure it out. If Sirianni screw it up, Sirianni's gone. You already know.
Yeah. They run them out quick.
Yeah.
Washington got a good blueprint.
Philadelphia don't play with no coach. Either you're gonna do it or you ain't gonna do it. That's it.
And they ran Andy out. They'll run anybody out.
Right. You ran Andy Reid out of there, bro. And Andy Reid was taking you to the NFC Championship game every year. Every year. The Commanders are rising. Commanders are really 2 years ahead of schedule, honestly. 2 years ahead of schedule. And they ain't got and the thing that they ain't got no salary cap strap on them yet. Because they ain't paying nobody.
But it goes back to what you were saying too. You got the owners, they hire the right people, they get out the way and let them run the team.
That's it.
That's what you got to do.
Jerry will never do that.
Now, the only team that's going to be on par with y'all right now, and I don't know what happened. The Giants, this is un-Giant-like, because the Giants was a model franchise.
Check it right.
The Giants ain't got it right since, is it the curse of Eli? Because remember what happened.
Yeah.
Remember what happened. They sat Eli down and he wasn't hurt. And
I think they stayed with it too long.
But Eli had that record where he was playing every game and whatever, and they made him sit down, and they have not been anything since then. Now, I'm not saying Eli didn't deserve to sit because Eli was stinking up the field. At the same time, Eli, but just like, okay, they're going to vote next week or week after when they do the Hall of Fame. Eli probably is going to get in on the first ballot.
But see, he
don't deserve it.
As you know, T, that is because of 2 Super Bowl victories.
Exactly.
What Eli is, though, is not a person or a quarterback that's going to win games by himself. He ain't got that.
Well,
his face, you know how his face look is how his results are going to look. If the team, just said it, if the team around him ain't some of the best that you can get. Eli is not Dan Marino. He ain't Phillip Rivers. People that can keep you 89, 80. If you let him be the best player on the team, you'll be 2-15.
Eli is gonna join the Dan Marino club because honestly, if Eli gets in the Hall of Fame, Eli will not have a Hall of Fame receiver because Plax is not gonna be it. Plax is
No.
not going to be a
Yeah.
Hall of Fame receiver.
He had good
No, but
receivers
he's
for
one of
a
those
time.
in the age. My bad, Kels. Go ahead, man.
No, you go. No, I was just saying.
I was
He
gonna
just
say
had
he one of those in what I call the golden age of the defenses in the NFL. From 2000 to 2009, you had some defenses constructed that were just out of this world. So
Yeah.
when you take the Super Bowls, you got Mr. Three Fingers. Then
PP.
you got Strahan, who's maybe him and Reggie White. I think just looking at people move people are the two strongest people I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Strahan will pick you up with one club. I don't know what, and could throw you 10 yards. Reggie White the same way. When them two crash down, that is a nightmare for a quarterback that can't move. And they ran Brady stupid that game.
Well, I'm gonna tell you the most dangerous man on that defense for the Giants was Justin Tuck. Because Justin Tuck collapsed everything. And it didn't matter whether he was inside or they bumped him out and let him go in for a couple of plays. You couldn't do nothing with Justin Tuck.
But they had OC during that time too, right? OC
Yeah,
and
because OC was
Antonio Pierce.
OC, you basically had 4 defensive ends because they had Matthias Kiwanuka too. You had 4 defensive ends playing the offense, playing the defensive line, and you couldn't block none of them. Okay, but Justin Tuck was truly unblockable.
Like I was watching a Strahan thing on the NFL channel, and I was watching a Reggie White thing too, and just the way them two moved people, like they like this one time Strahan is no lie. It was like literally under and slung a 200-pound man across the field, and say they were Reggie White. I mean, like pure strength. Them cats just moved. They were movers of people. Get to their end destination. But yeah, that's what I think he got caught. He got caught up in that 2000 to 2009 era where defenses they just ruled the day. The Ravens, the Bucks, and the Giants. Those 3 defenses came back to back to back. And
I think the Bucks had the best one though.
Let's go down to Super Bowl winners. Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson. Eli, look at the quality of quarterback that actually won Super Bowls during that era. Outside of Peyton's, outside of Brady
and Big Ben. You talking about Brady, Peyton, and Big Ben was the only great quarterbacks. You talking about Trent Dilfer. You talking about
Brad Johnson.
Well, you think about it. Rex Grossman took the Bears to the Super Bowl. Rex
Grossman, yes. And but their identity was Urlacher
and the ball.
Yeah. And that was Urlacher and the ball. Just some incredible defenses that it happened. I mean, it's just an error.
Well, Aaron Rodgers. Here's the thing: Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have his Super Bowl if it wasn't for Clay Matthews and Charles Woodson. So you say what you want. That era of defense. And let's remember my 2008 Steelers. That's the reason why we got half the rules in the NFL right now. You can't hit nobody. Ryan Clark was laying people out.
Man, he was laying people out.
Yeah. But y'all was on every level though.
But and that's part of the problem. What's wrong with us right now? I had a line, I had a group of linebackers, and I had a group of secondary that was second to none. They were killers.
Your Nass's player was high, and he played wide receiver.
Right.
The dirtiest one on the team.
Who played though?
No, Hines Ward.
Hines Ward. He called him Bush.
He's the worst one on the team, man.
All right, get ready to finish this up. But before we do, we gotta make this known. Dave, this works for you because Buccaneers will be able to win the South again next year. If the Panthers don't make some decent moves, if the Panthers the Panthers take over the South. But tell me why the Falcons hired Jeff Ulbrich as defense coordinator. What did he do with the Jets to make you feel like, he gonna make the Falcons?
ESPN will shove it down your throat. So they showed the stats. So for like the 2-3 years, they were in the top 5. Now that's just what they're saying in defenses in the NFL. So that is the justification that they're using for this.
Well, when Albright was there, remember who the head coach of the Falcons was? It was Dan Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dan Quinn is in Washington. Okay. Raheem, I think that's a bad move. You setting yourself up to get fired next year, honestly. That's the way I look
Let's
at
think.
it.
You know me, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Do you
Uh-huh.
think Raheem is doing that to sabotage Atlanta for what they did to him?
No, I don't
Why?
know. But also remember,
Why?
hires, we got to see who made the hire too. Because all hires are not, remember, they do tell them something. You got to change this coaching staff, and I'm
Yeah.
bring in such and such. Now, I'm not
Well,
saying Ryan
Right,
did not hire him, but also,
right,
I'm just one of them
right.
people that say it's an individual that has the burden, but there's stuff that goes on at the corporate level that
Mm-hmm.
influences decisions. And that's why I
well,
want to say, if it's Raheem with this hire, but what I think with that particular hire, I think that was a GM call more than it was a Raheem call. And we'll see. I don't know if they'll talk about it, but my thing is that was a GM as opposed to a Raheem hire.
well, again,
Mm-hmm.
here's another situation where a coach clearly is not effective at his job. Uh, if you were gonna hire a former coach, Robert Sala's out there. Why didn't you go get Sala?
Where did he
Okay.
go? Did he?
He's doing a advisory gig to the Packers. And nobody's
It's a
offering.
shame if he don't have a job, man.
He's not getting a head coaching job anytime soon. You could have put him at defensive coordinator, man.
Yeah.
Or Raheem, you want to win? Guess what? Rex Ryan is available, dog.
But then you
I'm
got to
just
deal with
saying.
that circus, though. Because I have never met a Ryan. They might have coordinated after their title, but in their heads, they the head coach. His daddy
Mm-hmm.
did it. They all made, and you hired him as coordinator. But in their minds,
Mm-hmm.
they're the head coach. So you got to deal with that circus if you get Rex.
Yeah, you got to deal with the circus, but here's the thing, and this is where we've been using screw the pooch. This is where the South has screwed the pooch. Okay, the Falcons needed a defensive coordinator. You go get Jeff Ulbrich. Terrible move. Okay, Canales is gonna sit there. They're gonna get some players to help Bryce out. That's gonna get them over the top. Even if they
Mm-hmm.
don't make the playoffs next year, they'll have a winning record next year. I give them a winning record. So if they get to 9-8, you already know that puts them square in the playoff. As long as Baker don't go complete Baker all year next year, the Tampa Bay should win the South.
I don't
But
think he'll be close.
if Baker goes complete Baker, it's
I
up for
think
grabs.
next year, don't be shocked if Trask is the starter. Because it was a big push in training camp this year.
Boy, you
So
said
I am just saying, Baker is a very friendly, can't mess up kind of contract. Because I don't think, and I know my franchise is really willing to lose some games and not win the South and move that contract, take Trask, and then start with something else. Because the Bucks is on a spree that I've never experienced before. Well, they have never experienced this before. Going to playoffs and winning the South 5 years in a row. That is, even when they had their little run with Dungy. Dungy wasn't even this successful. So you take this run, and I do not put it past my boys, the brothers, because
the
there's a lot
Glazers.
going on over there with Manchester United right
The
now.
Glazers.
And there's a
Yes.
lot that they got to show up. And I just know that don't be surprised if Trask starts from a business type thing.
Well, I mean that if you do that, you for sure gonna lose the division. The Saints, like I say, if the Saints would have got Aaron Glenn, I believe the Saints would have been in prime position.
Yep.
But we also got to remember the Saints are $70 million over the cap.
That's their problem.
I understand that, but they $70 million
Yes.
over the cap, man. How you even get to that point?
Because they signed old boy, the wide again. T, this ain't on you. I'm talking about the prima donna one. They signed the dude who clearly said and showed you for 3 years he didn't want to play for you, but you signed him to a big contract. I mean, that's what really put them over the top was
Yeah, because it was stupid.
He didn't play it so long, I can't even remember his name.
Michael Thomas.
There you go.
Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas.
One of the dumbest contracts. I mean, sometimes, honestly, I know I don't have the degree and whatever, and I'm doing this as a side gig and whatever. But let's just be real about it. Sometimes it's some people make some decisions in the football world. I really gotta question what they be thinking about sometimes.
Well, number one, there is no degree in football, so everybody is
but
qualified.
All
of us are making all of us are unqualified. Like I've heard this thing. You know, when you're a pre-PhD, everybody is a pre-PhD.
Well, look here. We've been right all year. We've been right all year. So I mean,
yeah,
we ain't losing out on nothing because we've been right.
There you go.
That's why I say, somebody come get us. We need a show.
Yes, we do.
We need a show because you're not gonna tell us everything that we done talked about is not gonna happen this weekend. All right, so let's go on and finish it up. All right, 3:00 Sunday. Commanders, Eagles, live from Lincoln Financial. Oh man,
Commanders.
You got Jalen and Saquon versus Jaden and Bobby Wagner.
Mm-hmm. Commanders win that one.
Oh, just because I don't want to put, like I said, I'm gonna stick. If I said it before, I gotta stick to it.
I think Philly will win.
I got Philly because because I love Jaden so much. I don't want that yet on him. I think that the natural progression of things. So I think Philly is going to eke it out. And they actually didn't the last game go into the overtime.
Yeah, because we was up in Charlotte for that game. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think we're going to get that same type of game with Philly edging it out like they did in that game right there. I don't know.
The last game, the Commanders won.
Yeah. No, that was the overtime game.
Mm-hmm. Both of them was over. They went overtime twice because the first game was the Thursday night game.
Commanders did win that second game. Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the first game was the Thursday night game. So, and they played.
I got Philly eking it out, man.
Honestly, the Thursday night game was unfair to the Commanders because they played the Steelers that Sunday and turned around and had to play the Eagles. Right. That was thoroughly unfair.
No,
you know,
I got this Eagles eking it out. That's my pick.
I think they can. I think the Commanders can pull it out. If it is, it's going to unleash a whole lot of stuff in Philadelphia. I'll just put it like that. The Philadelphia fans right now,
because Washington winning this game.
Philadelphia fans right now are unstable because the Phillies did not make the World Series. If the Sixers are dead,
they will pick beginning of the season.
Right. The Sixers are dead. And if the Eagles don't make the Super Bowl, it's gonna have far-reaching problems in Philadelphia.
Well, you know they fired the coach because they don't hesitate.
Oh, Sirianni fired. If he don't make the Super Bowl, he fired. Let's go on and put it out there right now. All right, and then 6:30, the big game. Fired. Chiefs, Bills.
The Chiefs gonna win. It ain't gonna be fair
until somebody take the crown from the king. It don't matter.
Hey, you know my default pick on that. I'm gonna tell somebody to beat it. What Mr. Rick Flair, to beat a man?
To beat a man,
you gotta beat the man. And right now, I am the man.
He the man. And until somebody do it, now granted, they get the benefit of the doubt. They get calls. I ain't gonna say they don't. But you gotta kill the monster.
Well, Rick Flair, see too. You and I said it at the beginning of the season. No, I'll give this to you. And Donovan said it, and I said that you two said it together. When teams fail to they stop playing football and they start playing the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And you said that in the beginning. Now they done. And that's what teams have to get out of is playing the Chiefs and play football. And until that can be shaken, I don't know if Buffalo can do that. I don't know even if the NFC team, because if you get, let's say Jaden wins and they go to the Super Bowl, Andy Reid is going to eat them alive. When
Yeah.
I tell you eat them alive, and that's another thing I don't want to happen is that, because I don't see that Super Bowl if Kansas City and Washington plays, it won't even be close to me. And that's what I'm afraid of as the psyche, because again, I don't want to keep overusing this team, but when they ain't got beat down, it just wasn't the same. And I know he didn't get anything. He didn't get anything. They didn't support him.
Didn't get any help.
I just don't want him to start like that.
Well, the thing I would do, and
well, hell, John Elway started like that though, and he came out successful.
Yeah, I know,
I'm talking to myself. Yeah,
Spagnola, he's good for coming up with a scheme. And honestly, and somebody probably will steal this here. If you really want to screw up somebody right now, everybody going to the short passing game. What I would do, 2 linemen, rush, drop 9. What you gonna do? Until somebody show you they don't have the patience to sit there and find somebody in the zone. I ain't got to heat nobody up. Because the thing is, if you heat Jaden Daniels up, Jaden Daniels is gonna make plays. But if you don't heat him up, you make him hold the ball, it's gonna be a problem. Because you can scheme. But see, here's the thing. There's only a few coordinators that is going to actually scheme a game plan. Most of them, I'm going to do what I do. I'm coming after you. Okay. Let me know how that works.
You made the greatest point. When you speed a player up, they default to their natural instincts. And Jaden, his natural instincts will beat everybody on the field. That's why you can't speed him up. Because once you speed him up, he's just going to do what he did on the playground or whatever they call. And nobody on the field is better than him at doing that. Right. But like you said, if you sit there and you give him none of those outlets or lanes, and you really just got to sit there and think about, do I hit A, B, like Belichick used to do with Peyton Manning. He'll rush 2 and drop 9.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's a great point, man, because when you are so good and you make somebody default to what they're so good at, that's when they beat your ass.
Well, let me tell you, the first person I ever seen run that type of defense was Lou Holtz when he was at Notre Dame against Florida in the Sugar Bowl. I want to say this was 93 or 90.
Yeah, it was 93. It was 93. I remember that game.
And he stopped rushing. Danny Werfel was Heisman Trophy winner. Oh, man, we love him. He's great. He rushed 2 people and dropped 9, and it blew his mind because he could not figure out where they going to be at. He was so used to everybody in the SEC playing man-to-man, and he make passes. Spurrier couldn't even figure out how he was going to do something. Now, ideally, a strong offensive mind would have said, let's run the football. You only got 2 linemen. I'm going to do, because you a coach is the most egotistical fella you ever want to see. I'm going to do what my team is going to do. And he want me to throw this football. I'm going to throw it all day long. That's how you lose games. Lamar.
All day long.
Lamar.
Gotta stop listening to this, man, and just do. So, yeah. What's the next one? That was the next pick. That was it's 2. Did we do
it's Bills Chiefs. Bills Chiefs Sunday night.
Oh, we already did that one. Yeah,
we already said. So, as 44 stack, college football is completely done. As 44 stack finishes up after the Super Bowl, we will be flip-flopping to the other podcast, doing that a little more than the stack, but the stack will still be going on. It'll just be once a month. We'll be going over college basketball. At that point, we'll be looking at the NBA. And by that time, spring training started in baseball, and looking forward to talk to D about that. He thinks his Orioles is going somewhere. If the Braves can stay healthy, they can get back to the World Series. Anybody stop the Dodgers, please, because they getting on my nerves. They spending too much money. Man. They getting on my nerves. I'm telling you. They getting on my nerves. Somebody please stop the Dodgers.
The new Yankees. Remember how the Yankees was doing it from 96?
Yeah. They getting on my nerves, man. The Dodgers, I mean, What is y'all? Y'all got a printing press over there? Y'all print money?
Nah.
You got $1 billion salary. $1 billion
Mhm.
salary, man. How is you paying all these fellas? You ain't bringing in that much money.
Well, LA is funny like that.
I
LA
understand.
it's
I
not a football town.
understand. I
It's a
understand.
Dodgers
Mhm.
Lakers town.
I
It's always
understand.
been that way.
But again, how is you paying everybody, bro?
When your 9 million residents all rock a LA Dodger hat and a LA Dodger
Mhm.
jersey, and you
Yep.
got me as your second fan who grunts LA stuff too, and LA is a second team to a lot of people because of Jackie Robinson, and
Of
this
course.
is why I
Old
do it
black,
as my second.
old black people love
I
the
and hey,
Dodgers.
well, this 51 about to be 52 in February because that makes me old. Love me some Dodgers and Jackie Robinson too. That's why they're my second team. And so for all them old black people you said, that paraphernalia is purchased, and they're 9 million citizens.
Mhm.
Quantity matters, man. Like when
I'm just saying.
everybody said they were stupid for signing Pujols to that contract. The Dodgers said we made so much money in jersey sales to the folk down. You know who I'm talking about. All of them have Pujols jerseys. They made all that back through paraphernalia. The LA hat is worn by every gang member in existence. The NY and LA hat, those are the two hats that you see everywhere. And if you're a blue, what are the blue people? Crips? Which one is the blue? The
The
Crips? I
Crips.
don't want to
Crips, I
know.
think.
I don't know. Ain't America. I don't give a damn what you say. I don't want to know what the colors
Well,
are to make the team.
well,
Which
but
one is the
see,
blue one?
the Crips are the blue.
That's the only
The
hat they
Bloods
wear.
are the Reds.
Okay.
The Bloods wear the Cincinnati Reds majority of the time. So
I used to
now
love that too, man.
we are from the South, and we all rock the A because it's the A.
Yeah. So
It's
my
the
my
A, baby.
that was
Hey,
my
we
first
all rock
team.
the A.
When I went to my granddad took me to Memorial Stadium and I heard Eddie. And that son of a gun actually switched from left to right.
Yeah, yeah.
And he
One of,
hit it out. I was 7. I will
one of the
never
greatest. He is one
forget
of the
that
greatest
ever.
switch
And that's
hitters
my
of
first
all time.
team in all sports. Yeah.
Yeah. When you come home, I kind of feel like we're gonna be making a bunch of trips there because we'll be going up there to go to Baltimore, or we'll be going to Atlanta to see the Braves.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
or when Charlotte finally take Tampa from Tampa, when the Devil Rays move to Charlotte.
Yeah, and they need to do that too, because man, yeah, they're in a
It
pit.
is what it is, man. But
Yeah.
they need to. They really, really need to. But the Braves ain't gonna let it happen because the Braves gonna be like, that's our neck of the woods. They ain't giving that up, man.
Mhm.
Shoot. But they should. But
Yeah.
Braves ain't doing that. Braves are the only team in the nation that pull from 6 states, man. You go
True.
to a
Yeah.
Braves game, you see 6 different tags in the parking lot. That's one thing you say about them. They pull from 6 states, regardless.
Yeah, because the Mariners pulled from 3 just because of the isolation. You get Idaho,
Well,
you
you ain't
get
you ain't got you ain't got no other than the Trailblazers. You ain't got nobody in Oregon. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They all
yeah,
become Mariners fans. Yeah,
yeah,
and yeah. And
yeah,
baseball, that baseball's regional. That
yeah,
baseball is born
Mhm.
and bred to be regional. But
yeah.
people don't
Mhm.
realize that's what they pay so much money for regional baseball because most people watch a game live and they advertisers is what pay for anything. So
Right.
they afford like the Dodgers $1 billion contract with whatever that thing is. The Yankees, MASN, Turner. These are big money, and they pay big money because a live eye
Mhm.
on a commercial is worth more than anything to advertise. And that's
Well,
what keeps them that alive. Yep.
well, the teams that stay consistent and always have money is the teams that had national broadcast before they changed the cable
True.
right.
Yep. Cubs,
Mhm.
Again, the
Braves.
Dodgers are a benefactor of every black man in America respects and loves the Dodgers for what they did with Jackie Robinson. The Braves was on the superstation. Everybody had WTBS. No matter where you were, even if you didn't have a
Mhm.
satellite, you could catch WTBS. Okay, and then when the Cubs, and that's what's wrong with the Cubs now. when it went just to regional and the Cubs got off of WGN, that killed the Cubs, man. That killed the Bulls, honestly, because that's what we watched the Bulls on. We watched the Bulls on WGN. When they did them contracts, it killed everything because Dave, you've been to my house on Saturday night, and the Bulls is on. We ain't going nowhere until this game
over. All we did was watch basketball. Yep.
Because all we had to do was and this is why I go at LeBron so hard. I ain't never one time told nobody, man, LeBron them on night, we gonna go watch the game. Never. Even when he was with the Heat, I was never like that. But I know it's been a many nights I've said, yo, the Bulls on tonight. Oh, well, let's go see Mike. Because you knew something was gonna happen. You knew something was
for another episode. I'm trying to remember must-see basketball players. Meek. Let's do this. Yay, on the real. This should be an episode. Must-see players. No, must-see players across genre, across sport genre, that no matter, for me, no matter when Ken Griffey Jr., I wanted to watch the Mariners when Ken Griffey Jr. played. I wasn't watching it for the Mariners. I wanted to see what I thought at that point was the prettiest swing that I ever witnessed in the history of man. Barry Sanders and Detroit Lions, right? You watch because you just don't know when magic was about to happen.
Well,
so that's what I'm saying.
You look at it like this here for baseball. Barry Bonds and Ken Griffey Jr., when they were on the West Coast, they either kept you up to watch the game, or when Sports Center came on the next morning, what they did last night. That was your thing. And that's what made Sports Center great when we were younger, because of the fact, okay, we got to see what the West Coast folks did, because you already done watched the Braves before you went to bed, or watch the Cubs screw up 100 games every year just because it's the Cubs, man. But we'll talk about that. We'll get that one in. All right. But we gonna do 2 more of these the next 2 weeks. We'll do after the championship game this week, and we will do after the Super Bowl, and then we'll switch up and we'll be on SGP at that point.
Cool.
All right. Y'all have a good evening. Thank y'all, fellas. Somebody please come get us.
Good night, America.
Because we look, like we say, Afro beats and what?
Sassy balls.
Got
a corner on the mark. Come get
Gotta go.
Yeah.
We can bring back auto tune if that's the case. I'm just playing. All right, we'll see y'all next week, man.
All right.